There are many different ways to represent the equation of a line. So let's look at some of the different forms of linear equations. First off, we have ax plus by equals c. Okay, and we call this standard form. Standard form. And it turns out for this form, a, b, and c need to be integers. So remember, that's, like positive or negative whole numbers. So they couldn't be a fraction. That's basically what that's saying. You don't see this standard form very often in this context. What's much more common is something like this: y equals mx plus b. Okay, slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form. And usually when you're working with a line, that's how you represent your answer, right? If you're manipulating it some way or you want to share a line with someone, what line are you talking about? Well, I'm talking about this one. You put it in y equals mx plus b form. And again, this is the slope, and b, we have the y-intercept. All right. A more useful form of lines is this: y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. Okay, we call this point slope form. With slope-intercept form, we were limited to the y-intercept, right? So that's a really great form if you have the y-intercept, but it's hopeless if you don't have it. With this one, this point slope form works for any point x1, y1. Okay, so this can be any point. Any point. Right, so much more universal equation, right? You'll see this used a lot in this course. You'll see this used a lot in calculus, pre-calculus. It's a much more commonly used equation of a line. And we have some old favorites here. Y equals c, like a constant. Y equals a constant. Remember, this is a horizontal line. Horizontal line with the y-intercept of 0, c. Okay, closely followed by, x equals c. And again, c is a constant in this case, just some constant. Oftentimes we reserve the letter c for constants, so think of it as y equals 5, y equals 1,000,000, y equals 5 halves. Okay, and x equals c, vertical line. Okay, x-intercept in this case is c, 0. And just so we're being complete here, let's remind ourselves that parallel lines have the same slope. The same slope. And perpendicular lines have negative reciprocal slopes. Perpendicular lines have negative reciprocal slopes. Okay, so we might say same slope, well, just m1 equals m2. But for negative reciprocal, we might say m1 equals negative 1 over m2. Right? You flip it and change the sign.